Well, I hope you enjoyed this powerful section on candlesticks and candlestick patterns. And I'll leave you with some final thoughts. And one thing too, as you start to see patterns, you start to see more and more candlesticks, they'll become more second nature to you. So if it seems like it's like a little bit harder to grasp, you can always go back and watch a lesson. And again, as you actually start using it, whether it's with paper trading for practice or in your real live trading, you're going to start seeing these things very, very easily, and it's going to help you to become a very successful trader. So some final thoughts around this is one, you want to continue to learn and practice and learn to visually recognize what these candlesticks are trying to tell you. They're trying to tell you something. So the more you understand the candlesticks and you can, and their patterns that go with it, especially the Kahneman patterns, and you can just visually look at it and see, oh, that jumps out at me. I know this is what's going on. That's going to be very helpful, and that will come as you learn and over time. And also that there are many candlestick patterns out there. I've shared the most common, most classic ones that almost everybody can use and maybe should use, but there are a lot of different patterns out there. If you search the internet, you might find all sorts of patterns. In fact, if anything, there's too many patterns, and they can be detrimental because some are not as statistically valid as others. The ones I've shared with you are ones that are the best ones. So if you try to learn too many patterns, you can have this steep learning curve because you're trying to keep all these patterns in your head, and that can actually cause you to be impact your trading in a negative way. Other things is you start to see all these patterns, you might start seeing things. You try to learn too many patterns at first, and you might have mirages where like, oh, I think I see this, but really it's not there, right? It's a mirage. And you start getting where you look at your charts and everything starts swimming around like, oh my gosh, everything seems like a pattern or nothing seems like a pattern. So start by focusing on, patterns that seem most interesting to you, or certainly the ones that I've shared with you. Start there, and then you can build from there if you want. But too much can be sometimes not helpful either as far as candlestick patterns. And as I mentioned in a couple of the lessons, I said that some people only trade candlestick patterns. They just really focus on that, and that's okay. They can be successful that way. I would say take some of these other lessons that you're going to learn and think about that. If you love that idea of candlesticks and training just these candlestick patterns. And by the way, sometimes a lot of these patterns are not as common, so your trading might be not as frequent too. If you're looking for just a certain Doji setup or a certain pattern setup, it might not be as common as other types of patterns out there. But a good practice too is you learn other things in the course is to combine it with other indicators for like confirmation. So maybe I see a candlestick pattern forming, I might confirm it that, okay, volume is doing what I'm expecting to do, either rising or falling or staying the same. So the trading volume is there confirming, but I might want to confirm it with other things I'm learning, like trend lines, moving average, weighted moving average, simple moving average, trend lines, general trend patterns, upward trends, lower trends, these moving averages, momentum indicators, sentiment indicators. There's things that we're going to learn throughout the course here that you can use, that if you see a pattern from a candlestick aspect, you can go outside that to something a little bit different and say, okay, I see this happening. I'm going to use a momentum indicator and see if that actually confirms what I'm seeing here. That both my candlestick pattern and my momentum indicator are saying prices are likely to rise. Well, then I'm going to buy because I'm getting a double confirmation. And we'll learn all about that too towards the end of the course, where we talk about kind of setting up your strategies and stuff too. But right now we're learning the tools and how to apply these tools and how to apply them to be, so you can be very successful. And I tell you, candlestick patterns, great section here, and really get into that, and that can really, really make a difference in your trading and help you to be very successful. So let's learn about some more indicators and ways to interpret using technical analysis.